Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Last week we talked about losing your dream job, and today I'm going to talk about the situation when you realize that your career path has nowhere to go at your current place of employment. So you find something else, something that's really great and gets you excited for what comes next for you, but the offer is for less money than what you're making now. Sometimes that can work out for you, and that's what I'm going to cover today. Real quick, if you enjoy this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. All right, so let's get started. Here are 7 questions to ask yourself if you're considering taking a new job for less money. Question number 1, what are my long-term goals? Consider your long-term goals around the 5-year to 7-year timeline. When you make a move like this and it looks like a good opportunity, you want to ask yourself how much career progress you can make within 5 to 7 years. Why? Because that's the average amount of time a person in a management job will be able to learn new skills and master the position before they start wondering what's next for them, either internally with a promotion or externally with a jump. If you compare the current job you have with the job offer, and maybe even another offer for more money, consider your 7-year plan. If you can visualize how the work and opportunities will give you valuable experience, skill development, and exposure to the next level growth and a power network, then you might want to consider taking that lower paying opportunity. Question number 2, what is the growth potential? When considering a lower paying position, you want to look at where there is growth in the company. You want to be able to justify a lower paying job today because you can see a promotion path in front of you for tomorrow. If your current position is completely stagnant and top heavy with executives, then a company in a growth industry that's expanding could have opportunities that you want. And yes, you can ask during the interview. I asked in the interview what the growth potential was for people in the department where I worked, and they were honest with me. After 18 months, you can explore other possibilities. And there were incentives to learn more and continue moving up. It was a part of the company's culture. There's no guarantee that you'll get to achieve all you've set out for yourself at this new company, but it's very important to find out if you have a path with flexibility once you get in there. Question number 3, what will job satisfaction look like here? A lot of people ask me about dealing with a difficult job and how to manage overwhelm and stressful job culture. And man, that's hard. A really great scenario would be to find a job that aligns more with your vision of what work-life balance looks like to you. If the offer is for $10,000 less than what you make now, but the new job is less demanding on your well-being, well, that's a pretty attractive offer. An easy example is if you went to remote work during the pandemic and you enjoyed it, but your employer is asking you to come back in the office, which you really don't want to do anymore. You might find a fully remote job with a lower pay, but that might work for you since you're no longer going to pay for transportation anyway. It's a basic example, but it's plausible. Make sure to consider the overall job satisfaction and fulfillment the new job opportunity can bring you. Question number 4, does this job offer a sense of financial stability? When I was looking for a new job many years ago, I was considering a job with a huge public relations firm. The only problem was that it was an internship and they weren't going to pay me, but I would get preference for a job opening after the internship, which would last 3 months. And I really considered it. I was living on my own and needed to pay my bills, but I wanted very badly to get into that company. In the end, I couldn't make the numbers work, so I declined the opportunity. Sometimes an offer like that might be workable, especially if you have a partner or spouse who can pick up the expenses for a little bit. And the question isn't just about financial stability, it's also about financial freedom. You may have an hourly rate job or a contracting job. Taking something that brings in less money now but gives you stability with a regular paycheck and a career path forward is definitely worth considering. Question number 5, will the benefits and perks make a difference? When it comes to considering taking a little less money for a better job, the first question you want to ask is about benefits. This is a go-to negotiation strategy. Again, you may not get anything or you may get something. You never know if you don't ask. Consider the overall compensation package. That includes healthcare, retirement benefits, stock options or equity, and even flexible work hours. One thing I always asked was to get an extra week of vacation. As an experienced hire, I always wanted my vacation time to be in line with the next level. I don't know. Back then, vacation time was important to me, and people at the next level would get more vacation time. So that's what I always asked for. Question number 6, what is the market telling me? These days, the market has a lot to say, and at the same time, it doesn't say much, meaning these are conflicting times. Salaries, we're seeing an upsurge over the past few years coming out of the pandemic, only to see layoffs coming around the next corner as an effort to make a correction. Do your research on what the industry offers for the position you want. If the offer, even if it's a little lower, is inside the range for the salary, then consider the opportunity as a fair market offer. Again, a slightly lower paying job now that sets you up for a path forward later is going to help your career development more than if you stay at the same job for another 3 years doing the same old thing. Here's why. You're building new experiences for a little less money with the potential to move into different or better work based on those experiences. It's an investment in yourself. If you stay at the same job for the next 3 years, you have nothing to show for it, especially if you don't get exposure to new leadership experiences. Question number 7, do I have room to negotiate? This one is important, which is why I saved it for last. If you decide to talk to a company about accepting a job that might be a lateral move with a little less money, then you absolutely can ask during the interview process what your career trajectory at that company is going to look like in the next 12 to 18 months. Look at it this way. They want you, an experienced hire, just as much as you want them, a career path with growth. You can ask for some assurances of what career progression will look like for you if you accept the position. That means you can ask for a specific position title that better reflects your experience. You can ask to work at the position for the next 12 months under the condition that you get moved to another department at another pay band after those 12 months. If they agree to that, you absolutely need to get it in writing before you accept the job, because it's easy for them to say, we don't know who you were talking to, but they had no authority to make that offer. I have had clients tell me that happened to them and now they're stuck. You can also ask to have a team of people working for you so you can illustrate your leadership potential. It's a little easier to negotiate before accepting the job than to ask for changes after you've accepted. It's not impossible, but it's a little harder after you're hired. Anything you get to negotiate for yourself to compensate for taking less money will help you feel like you're making a strong decision for yourself. This is an investment in your career development, and sometimes we need to negotiate for the best situation if we're going to compromise on salary. All right, so that's it for my video on what kind of questions you can ask as you consider taking a new job for less money. In my experience, people will take a new job for a variety of reasons, and they will especially consider taking a job for less money if it's going to get them closer to their bigger career goals. Drop me a note down below if you can think of any other questions you should ask yourself as you consider making a big change like this. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.